Chicago's home. I have a condo here in the West Loop, so I'm just downtown, and
Awesome.
yeah, it's home. It's my first summer home in 15 years, so this is
wow.
kind of crazy. Yeah, it's my first year.
Crazy.
Yeah, where baseball's kind of not going on.
Wait, so Chicago actually is warm at some point?
Dude, it's like 85 right now.
Yeah.
We were driving down the street, my girl and I, maybe 3 weeks ago, and she's like, are the trees ever gonna have leaves on them again? What's going on? And then literally the next day she goes, oh my God, all the trees have sprung leaves. It happened in like 6 hours. It was just full tree.
That's crazy.
I was in Chicago last year during the polar vortex, probably the most miserable time of my life. Just 20.
Everybody always asks me, how do you handle the weather in Chicago and all that? And what I tell them is you have 5 days out of every winter that are just so miserable you got to stay inside.
Yeah.
After those 5 days, you can wear the right jacket or you can wear some wind-resistant stuff and you'll be fine. Yeah. But those 5 days, you got to chalk it up and stay inside.
Definitely. And I even see some people rocking shorts during the wintertime. You know, the ones that are true Michiganders. Yeah. They're like it's 38 degrees or 40 degrees. Oh, it's warm. It's a warm day.
Yeah. North of freezing, it's shorts.
Yeah, but that wind though, if it actually is the windy city, that shit makes it twice as cold.
Well, that's the worst part is people don't dress for the wind, and the wind cuts through all the buildings here coming right off the lake, and it literally cuts right through you if you're not dressed properly.
That's crazy.
All right, Alex, you want to get this going?
Yeah, you ready? You guys ready?
All right.
Yeah.
So let me just talk about, I'm sure you've done some like baseball podcasts before and just talked about baseball in your career and stuff like this. Yeah. We're trying to keep it short, like 15 minutes, maybe 20 max. Cool. Just keep it fun, keep it loose, talk about like style, fashion, cleats, footwear, shoes within the game of baseball. So I know you're the perfect fit for this.
Yeah.
I even got some Chicago related question that has nothing to do with any of that coming your way too. That I'm sure you'll like. So all right, Alex, you ready?
Yep.
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Kicking It Custom. I am your host, Clayton Gelfand, and I'm joined by my co-host, Alex Katz. And our special guest is two-time World Series champion, George Kontos. George, what's up, man?
How's it going, guys?
Not too bad. The sun's shining. It's been pretty miserable out here. I'm actually back home in Oregon. I know I told you I'm in Michigan. I'll move back there in a couple weeks, but the weather's been pretty miserable out here. But the sun's shining today, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I hear you. It's been I'm here in Chicago right now, and got off the golf course a little while ago. It's 75 and sunny and nice little breeze. So far, it's been a pretty good day out here.
Oh, yeah. That's always a good day where you can hit the links. So we'll start right away. And the first question has nothing to do with style or kicks. But, I know you're a Chicago native. So Lou Malnati's, Gino's East, or Giordano's?
Oof. Are we talking about thin crust or deep dish?
Well, I know those are two completely different things. I have my favorite for thin crust. I have my favorite for deep dish. I'll tell you mine. So Lou Malnati's has the best thin crust I've ever had. And then I like Giordano's for the deep dish.
Okay. I am a Lou Malnati's faithful deep dish with the butter crust.
Okay.
For me, Giordano's has just a ton of cheese. It's just cheese everywhere.
I haven't tried the deep dish at Lou Malnati's, so that's what I'll have to try next.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Make sure you get the butter crust whenever you do try it. And then of the three pieces of the three places that you mentioned for pizza for thin crust, Lou Malnati's is my favorite for thin crust there as well. But my ultimate number one favorite thin crust pizza is another place here in Chicago called Barnaby's. And it's just Barnaby's. It's super thin crust. It's pretty similar to Lou Malnati's, but it's just fantastic. If you're ever out here, you should definitely try it.
Awesome. So we got to get you some pizza-themed cleats this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, so bouncing off that question and talking about Chicago, how is Chicago, because Chicago's one of the biggest cities in the country. It's one of my favorite cities. There's a lot going on there. So how has that culture inspired your style on and off the field?
I think it's inspired my style tremendously. I mean, I was born in '85, so I'm 34 years old right now. And, my dad and I went to one of the NBA Finals games in 1991 when MJ and the Bulls won their first championship against the Lakers. And from then on, I was hooked. I was a, Nike MJ fan. I didn't have all the Jordans growing up. I have most of them now, but I was a diehard Jordan fan. And even to this day, everyone gives me a hard time. They tell me I have a shoe problem because I have all these shoe boxes in my closet here at my place, my condo, my boxes at my parents' house. They're just like, what are you doing with all these shoes? And I'm like, don't touch them. They're all brand new, unworn, some of them lightly worn. So I think, growing up here for sure has inspired my style a ton.
So how many shoes do you think you've collected over the years, and what was it like going to spring training or heading toward, going into the season and being able to only pick a few pairs of shoes? Obviously, you're not bringing your whole collection with you.
No, it's the worst. It's those are the hardest decisions. I'd throw like 1 or 2 pairs of jeans in there, a bunch of button downs, a couple collared shirts, but the ones that I could wear with the most different outfits are the ones I typically brought. So I'm usually bringing like my Jordan 1s, my 3s, my 4s. And then I would bring like an 11 low top and high top just for good measure.
Yeah, awesome. So moving on to the golf. I know you were talking about you even hit the links today, and scrolling on your Instagram, and I see you have a few different pairs of golf shoes. What's your favorite pair of golf shoe and why?
So my favorite pair of golf shoes that I own right now are the low top Concord 11s. Those are the ones that it's probably my all-time favorite shoe, the Bread. But in the golf model, I think the Concord and the Cool Gray are awesome. And Alex and I have been going back and forth through text. I'm looking to get a couple of like runner Jordans that I have, and all these just custom spiked from a running shoe to a golf shoe. So I'd say for sure the Concords. I just got the Jordan 5 golf shoes. Those are really, really comfortable and they look awesome. So those are probably my top 3.
So you arguably have the best collection. You will have arguably the best collection of golf shoes out of all the baseball players, you think, in the MLB?
That might be pushing it. I think I have a pretty good collection. I think there are some other guys who, some of the Jordan brand guys who play golf. I know Dexter Fowler has an insane collection. And I know he rocks his on the golf course all the time. So I think he might have a little bit better pair than collection than I got. But mine's not too shabby. I'm happy with it.
So if you had the choice of picking any retro Jordan model, which would you turn into a golf shoe, or which do you hope Jordan releases down the road?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. I would love to see a 9 high top.
That'd be sick.
A 9 high top for me would be awesome. I know that they've released some of the low top, like the low top 6 model, which I think looks awesome. They released the 13s, which I had a pair of those, and they were a little clunky in my opinion. But I think if they released a original 9 high top in a golf spike, but sometimes I don't like the soles that they put on the golf spikes. Like on the ones, for example, I think the shoe looks great, but the sole and the bottom is just a little bit clunky. I actually took a pair and I tried to just drill spikes into a pair of my 1 low tops, and they came out all right. But I think they look a ton better with the actual
sole and the plate on it.
Yep.
So when it comes to golf, baseball, and just your lifestyle in general, is there any difference when it comes to picking the type of shoe, or is one more about comfort than style? For baseball, is it more about, I pitched well on this, I don't care how it looks, I just want to rock that? What's the difference between all 3?
So I think for golf, I go less on comfort and more on kind of looks, just because you're not necessarily having to walk every round you play. You can hop in the cart and realistically only have to be on the ground when you're putting or hitting your shot. For baseball, I think it's a little bit different. You need to go on comfort, especially from a pitcher standpoint, when all of your momentum and kinetic energy is coming from the ground. So you have to have a stable environment that you're pushing off of. And I remember one year Nike released those Huarache mesh ones that were the low tops, where your foot was sliding all over the place. And they sent them to me in spring training. I was a Nike contracted athlete my entire career. And they sent them to me, and I was like, I can't wear these. These are I'm sliding everywhere. There's no grip for me. So then the Huaraches of like 2013 and 14, the ones that were the mids that just had the Nike sign kind of by the little toe on the outside, yep. I just started buying up all those pairs I could find.
Did those have the strap on them or no?
No strap. The mids. There was no strap on those. So I just bought up. I ordered them from my agent. I ordered them from Nike. I ordered them from eBay if people had unused ones that were brand new. And I just stockpiled them. And then I have a buddy from Chicago here who their company's called the Soul Revival, and he would just draw them up every year. And he would just be like, what do you want on these? I was like, just do something cool. You know what I like? And he would just draw them up, and I would wear them every year. And it would be the same pair of spikes, just different drawing on them every year.
So moving on from that, and obviously talking about custom footwear, obviously we do custom footwear, but we're not just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about style as well. How do you think it has changed within the game of baseball over the last few years? Because me personally, I heard about customizing footwear through football, and these guys are rocking them pregame, not even during the game, just cool designs pregame, obviously, because they had all those restrictions in the NFL. Did you see many other players rocking custom cleats when the beginning of your career, when you started doing it?
At the beginning of my career, I would say no. I didn't see it, nor did I really notice it because I wasn't looking for it. I think my main focus was just playing good baseball and trying to, stay in the major leagues as long as I possibly could. I'd say within the last 4 or 5 years, though, it's definitely begun to change. I think that the few guys that kind of stick out in my mind are Clevenger. He's got all those like really bright spikes. He's got the sunflowers. I think that his daughters really like. So everything that's on his feet is just really popping. It's very noticeable. And then I think I remember it started to become a little bit more lenient. I think after maybe Ben Zobrist wore a pair of black spikes for the Cubs.
The Sandlot ones, right?
Yeah, the Sandlot Converse. And he wore them, and he got a ton of pushback, and it kind of became a big issue. I'm not sure if you guys remember it, but after that.
Yeah, when MLB sent him the letter, I remember he posted on Instagram, and everyone was talking about it after that.
Yeah, everyone was talking about it. And I think right then was just the kind of push through the barrier of guys being able to express themselves how they wanted. And I think as long as guys are keeping it as professional as it should be kept, being on TV and representing yourself and, your team and all that, I think guys should be able to put whatever they want on there. And some of them have gotten, pretty artistic, and it's been pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. So my next question for you, George, is I know you're a 2-time champion, and I know when you win things that big, you celebrate, right? So what shoes, I don't know if you can remember this, what shoes in 2012 and 2014 did you rock after you won and during celebration?
Oh, man. Okay, in 2012.
They're waterlogged right now.
Yeah, right. In 2012, I have a pair of ones, but they're kind of a mix. I can't remember exactly the name, but they're a mix with the 8s. It's a 1 and 8 collaboration. So the back of it kind of has the suede from the 8, and then the front of it is the 1. I can't remember exactly what they're called right now, but it's an all white pair with some gray and red on them. I wore those, and then I think for the 2014 parade, I wore some Nike Air Max 90s.
Awesome. So my last question for you before Alex will do something that we like to call not so rapid fire, but which he'll get into. So how do you think custom cleats can change the game, or is already currently changing the game of baseball?
Well, like I said before, I think it's already kind of changing the game of baseball. I think having just the ability to express your personality and the things that you like on your shoe is super important. And I think it's fun for the fans, and it's fun for, guys like this and us to talk about. But I think in general, the spikes are a little bland that they come out with, just the generic ones. It's at least for Nike, for example, they were either black with a white Nike swoosh or red with a white Nike swoosh. And the fact that now people have the ability to take those spikes and draw them up and put whatever they want on them, I think is awesome. I think you can even order custom stuff right from Nike right now, like a Nike ID type deal, right? Can you kind of put some stuff on them that you want? I haven't done it.
Yeah, you could definitely change up the colors, but you're even limited by that because there's only so much you could do.
Yeah, but I think it's great, and I think that we're seeing the kind of middle of the process now of guys being able to do it, and I think as time goes on, you're going to see more and more guys start doing it. So it's definitely something that's here, and I'm assuming here to stay for the long haul.
Well, that's good for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
absolutely. Alex. So it's time for my favorite part. It's called rapid fire. but like Clayton likes to call it the not so rapid fire because people like to take their time with the questions.
Okay.
Kind of like intentional talk, although not really embarrassing questions. We're not going to make you dance or sing or any of that.
Perfect.
You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
What's your favorite sneaker of all time?
Ooh, the Air Jordan 1 Original Chicago.
Nice. It's got to be Chicago, right? You got to rep.
It's got to be the shoes.
I think you're the third or fourth person said that exact shoe.
It's just such a clean shoe.
It's unanimous.
It's a perfect shoe. It's a perfect shoe.
It is.
And the guy made it. And the guy, had the career that he had, so it made it even more infamous. So I mean, it's the perfect shoe.
Absolutely, just well-rounded, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's classic.
What's your go-to sneaker right now? So you might not be rocking those Chicago 1s to the grocery store. What is your go-to shoe?
My go-to shoe is still the Chicago 1, whether it's not the Chicago 1, just the Jordan 1, whether it's high top or low top. The Jordan 1, I mean, I probably have 35 pairs of Jordan 1s, and it's definitely the shoe that I think you can wear it with shorts, you can wear it with jeans, you can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's just such a universal shoe, and I'd say 6 out of 7 days if I'm leaving the house doing something, I have a Jordan 1 on my foot.
That's awesome. And do you like the low, mid, and high? I know some true Jordan 1 collectors hate the mids.
So I just got my first set of lows. I bought the white and black toe, and then I bought the shatter backboard lows like maybe a month ago because I was kind of iffy on the low tops, but I really like them, and I've liked the mid for a while, probably 4 or 5 years, but the high tops are the way to go for me. The full high tops are the best ones.
That's an OG right there.
That's right.
What are your thoughts on people cutting the highs and making them lows? They call them like cuts or cut ones.
I've actually never seen that, and I think if I did see it, I probably wouldn't be a fan of ruining a perfectly good high top Jordan 1.
Oh yeah, I just saw it this past winter. I thought it looked kind of funny. So the next question is, what's your favorite model cleat of all time? I think we might have answered it before.
Yeah.
You literally purchased out the internet for those Hirachis.
Yeah, right.
Is that your favorite?
So that's my favorite, that Hirachi mid. But then my second favorite are the Mariano Rivera cleats, the Nike
with the tongue flap.
The coops.
Nice. Were you able to stock up on those at all, or were those a little bit more difficult to find?
Those were out earlier in my career, and I wore them for maybe a year or two, and I loved them. They were great, but we moved on. I just thought they looked super sharp.
Yeah, Marianos were sick too. They had the 42 stitch on the tongue.
Oh yeah, they were suede. I got to see them up close and personal when I pitched for the Yankees earlier in my career when I made my debut, and they're sweet. They are awesome spikes.
I have to add one more question. It's not part of rapid fire. Were you able to collect any cool PE cleats or shoes throughout your career from other players?
No, that I've never done. But one of my teammates, Brandon Crawford, did it a ton. He would always be swapping spikes.
Trading and all that.
Like, I remember he did it with Adam Jones a bunch of times. Adam Jones' spikes.
Oh yeah, the swingmans.
Pretty sweet, yeah. So I've never done it, but he's done it a bunch.
Nice. So that leads to the next question. Which big leaguer has the most swag? We said current or former, but let's pick both, current and former.
Who has the most swag? Ooh, that's tough.
And some people look at it just on the field, but like you could think about it comprehensively. Are they just as swaggy on and off the field?
So right, yeah, no, you're right. I think on the field, and this is again a biased about because I played with the guy for 6 years, but Brandon Crawford on the field is super swaggy.
Yeah,
super, just like
when you have those hands, how can't like?
Man, great. He's got the hands. He's got the flow. He makes the plays that are unbelievably difficult look really, really easy. The guy's got tons of swag, and he's a quiet guy, good dude. You'd never even know it from talking to him, and then you see him do what he does, and the guy's got a lot of swag for sure.
What about former players?
Former player. I'm gonna go ahead with former players and say it's got to be Griffey. I mean, Griffey had a ton of swag.
Yeah, that's pretty unanimous too.
Always having his hat backwards and the swing, and it's got to be for me, Griffey.
So those are the most common answers we've gotten so far. I think you're guest number 12. And I think 10 people have said Jordan 1s as their favorite shoe.
Really?
And then I think 11 out of 11 said Griffey, or maybe one person said Bonds.
I wasn't a fan of the Fila though.
Yeah. That was pretty short-lived. I think the whole company went down under after that.
I think it was Logan Morrison who liked Bonds because of the earring, right?
Yeah.
The earring.
Yeah.
The cross earring.
Yeah, he told his son that if he makes it to the show, he's got to do it too.
Very nice.
And our final question of not so rapid fire: if you can rock any custom design on the mound, what would it be? So Players Weekend, maybe something even less restrictive. So literally anything imaginable. It doesn't have to be team colors.
Okay. So I would do. I'm Greek, and my family is from Sparta in Greece, where the 300 Spartans, the whole legend of that came from. So I would do on my spikes, I would do King Leonidas in full battle armor, uniform, shield, headdress, everything on the sides of the spikes.
That'd be sick.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
I've never seen that done before, so we'll have to do it on some golf shoes, right?
Absolutely. Oh, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
can make your golf shoe game just absolutely sick.
I would love that. I've been texting Alex for like 3 weeks now. I'm just waiting for us to start the process.
That's because he could either put a whole new plate on the bottom or just have the spikes put on it. So it's about weighing those options. That's a tough decision.
Well, anyways, George, we really appreciate you being on and talking kicks, pizza, and style with us. Wish you the best of luck on the links this summer until this whole thing's over, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll have to catch up and see more of that collection.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, George.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Thanks for coming.